Let's go back to Westminster Abbey. Lucy and Lisa are there for us right now. Lisa, we've seen Joe Biden arriving, we've seen Emmanuel Macron, so much pomp, so much pageantry. What else can we expect over the next few hours?
Well, I've got to tell you, Hamish, we just saw Joe Biden arrive right behind us and we saw the beast. And believe me, that is one huge mother. You can see why he wanted to bring it. He is as safe as houses here in the UK with that thing behind him. But yeah, it really doesn't get much bigger than this, Hamish, as the world and the UK, of course, says goodbye to its longest reigning monarch inside the stunning Westminster Abbey. It is, of course, the place where the Queen ascended to the throne in 1953. It's also the place where she married Prince Philip 75 years ago. And it also now becomes her place of final farewell. There'll be an estimated 4 billion people watching this around the world. There's 1 million people on the street. But of course, at the centre of it all is a family saying goodbye to its mother, its grandmother and its great-grandmother.
The other thing at the centre of this, of course, is a city, the City of London. Lucy, I want to talk to you as a local. Have you ever seen your city like this?
No, it's been absolutely extraordinary. It feels like time has been suspended, and today feels like the most surreal of days and what's been a really surreal 10 days. The streets are shut, there are so many people. I hesitate to say it's all anyone's talking about, but when I found out that the Queen had died, people came up to me in the street, "Have you heard?" And it's felt like that ever since. And of course, most people I know will be sitting down with their families to watch the funeral later on. It's being shown at cinemas across the country, clubs and societies. So it feels like an extraordinary moment at the end of an extraordinary 10 days.
So high emotions, also solemn emotions. You've been covering this for us throughout, and I don't think we've ever taken the chance to speak to you about your emotions and how you feel as this has unfolded over the past 10 days or so. How do you feel about this?
It's felt very strange being at the centre of this story and reading so much about a woman I grew up with and a woman who I felt I really knew anyway. I found it very emotional. I don't think I'm a Republican, I don't think I'm a monarchist, but in the 80s and 90s as a young girl and a teenager, having this fantastic, strong woman as the head of our state, I think was really, truly inspirational. I guess I never really thought that she would die. I thought she would go on forever, so I was very, very shocked when she did die. And I do feel a tremendous sense of sadness at her passing. And at the end of the Elizabethan era, for all its, trials and tribulations, as well as all the high points. So, yeah, it's been an emotional 10 days.
Lisa, obviously the marker point in history for most of us is the death of Princess Diana. I know you've covered the royals for many years. How do you compare what you're seeing now with covering royal weddings and those sorts of other big events which have had very different tones?
There's, I would say, there's a real feeling of so many people who, over the course of the Queen's 70-year reign, seem to touch so many lives. There's been so many people on the streets that we've been meeting. They've all got a story to share, whether it was a handshake, whether it was a smile, whether they've received an award. There is something that they all tell me they share in common, and that is they feel like this was a moment that would never leave them. And it's really been lovely hearing those stories here on the street.